I've been waiting for the opportunity to weigh in with what's going on with the Hunger Games, waiting for anybody to really say anything about this, and I think that's kind of the story in and of itself. It's just the little engine that could right now, with a bunch of things in the cinema right now. It just continues to make money in spite of it, well, really having any sort of word of mouth. You take a look at the dailies, and it's been profitable. Outside of everything else that's making headlines at the cinema, it's not really dipping below. Like, okay, Wednesday before Thanksgiving, it fell into third place. Okay, on Friday, okay, outside of what, the Beyonce film, still ended up hanging in there, making, a middling amount of money in its third week of release, only losing, 80 screens? It's really not all that bad, okay? And also looking at the totals, seeing that it's going to get up to, more than likely here, because of all the big budget films that are out there right now, for it to be carrying over into the holiday season, this appears to be the only one who's also going to be riding in there as well, going to eclipse a $250 million. That's not bad, unless of course you compare and contrast that to everything else that was in the franchise, okay, and noting that the purple line right there, yeah, that's where we're at right here, okay, yeah, day 17, okay. For a film that came out in 2023 is tracking behind something that came out in 2015 to the tune of, over $100 million. I wouldn't necessarily say that this thing is a success, but I would note that nobody's really doing anything detrimental in its production. And like I said, I think that's the story going on right here, just showing that people are willing to tune in and turn out to something based on nostalgia, given the fact that it's been, 8 years since the previous release, a familiar setting, a new story. Even if the previous series did end on somewhat of a down note, they'll go back and, they'll be lured in by somewhat familiar scenery. I wish there were a bunch of other franchises that would also take note of that, but maybe they will. Highly unlikely. Hollywood in general always ends up learning the wrong lessons from these conclusions. But in the year of the bomb, 2023, cannot really say that Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, is a bomb along the same lines as Marvel's Wish, Indiana Jones, The Flash, Shazam 2, Blue Beetle, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Quantumania, Elemental, the list goes on and on. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. $100 million production budget, meaning that it's going to need somewhere in the neighborhood of, just about the amount of money that it's made right now, meaning that it's highly likely to break even. Or hell, by the end of this, turn a little bit of a profit, meaning that, it's not going to be the most profitable film in the Hunger Games franchise. Hell, it's not even going to be half as successful as the least successful. Fair, like I said, the franchise ended on a sour note, but I think that it's somewhat likely to get a sequel if there's going to be another story to tell, or if Suzanne Collins can go ahead and crank out another book, because that was the only reason that this one got put into production. Or the people that were in the film right now can go ahead and point to this and go, aha, see, in the year where everything was failing, our film didn't fail as spectacularly. All because somebody kept their fucking mouths shut. You know who I'm talking about, Rachel Zegler. So I was just trolling through her social media accounts, okay, because normally she has something to say about everything, but she got the call. Not the one that you're thinking about, okay? But she got the other call to shut the fuck up. Just be happier in a film right now. Be happy it's not losing hundreds of millions of dollars like everything else that you have in your past, and one that's definitely in the future as well. And you might be able to salvage your career. Like, she always seemed reasonably impressionable, given the fact that she's 22 years old, has had professional handlers for the time that she turned of age. She was just simply parroting points that have been forced down her mouth. Hopefully that's the only thing that's been forced down her mouth. It's Hollywood, baby. That's the business. So I would like to think that she's learned a lesson, and maybe she's going to stop being so goddamn insufferable. But we can say this definitively, at least in the short term. She has learned that lesson because, okay, you take a look at her bio on Twitter here. Lucy Graybaird in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, in theaters November 17th. Promotion for her most recent project. Good. A lot of people do that. Pinned tweet is a poster for the film. Okay, wonderful. Okay, and then once again, just more posts about the film, behind the scenes stuff, okay, promoting some of her older content. There's some other rumblings that's out there of her trying to resuscitate the idea that, you know what, actually West Side Story wasn't quite a bomb, and that it, you know, is actually a sleeper hit. But when you run this back, okay, $74 million, and the fact that the production budget was $100 million, it was a bomb. It was justifiably derided with its goofy production choices, you know, no subtitles because Steven Spielberg thought that that would be racist, even though it was subtitled with every other global release. But guess what? Nobody internationally went and fucking seen this dog shit. So yeah, trying to retroactively rewrite your history, not gonna work right now, okay? Just focus on doing something good with the rest of your career, okay? But yeah, everything is fine here so far, even with her responding to Stan accounts. Oh, Rachel Zegler, you'll forever be iconic in your role as Maria Vasquez, and then just simply responding positively. Wow, that's definitely weird from her, just simply shit talking to anybody who ideologically disagreed with her, reposting fan art. It's interesting as it is, okay, and then just generally non-offensive Barbie posting, okay, you know, saying happy birthday to her sister, but maybe she saves all of her that Snoopy, you know, thing, you know, it's not all that bad, okay, maybe she's saving all of her vitriol for Instagram or something like that. But then I look over there, and again, it's just all promotion. Lucy Gray Baird in the Hunger Games, okay, all that stuff, 1.7 million followers. You would think that this is a much larger, 4 times larger platform, that maybe this would be where she would be a little bit more insufferable, but no, none at all whatsoever. Scenes from the red carpet from LA for Hunger Games with the caption, "Oh yeah, just gonna be in Hunger Games." Okay, fantastic. Her just, once again, walking different red carpets, nothing to say at all whatsoever. The last thing, from September, as Lady Gaga said, okay, fashion, whatever, it just, you know, bitch babble from an early 20-year-old, okay, not expecting anything different. Times Next 100, beyond honored, okay, nothing snide in the comments or anything like that. I think that she felt the backlash, and for the first time in her goddamn life, probably got some good advice to say, just don't engage, just, you know, keep your chin up, just continue to move forward. Because for whatever reason, you've been tapped as the Hollywood's next Golden Girl, even though you don't really have that much talent, and you've already harmed the brand of Disney enough, knowing that she is going to be looking forward to that because she's doing this sit-down vacuous interview with, you know, Ariel LaQuisha. I'm not entirely sure what the name of Black Ariel from that other bomb was, but we all know that the Snow White gimmick is going to be a destructive to Disney's beleaguered box office, even though it is coming out in 2025. Hopefully they'll be able to try to tuck that away, and they more than likely will, as long as Rachel Zegler doesn't say anything stupid in the lead up to that. You can go ahead and let, for whatever reason, the more divisive commentary of the other stars in that production. You can just leave all the inflammatory comments for, you know, the propagandist Gal Gadot, which is so fucking weird that we're at a point in time where I can't believe I'm saying this, but I gotta be honest and truthful, praising Rachel Zegler for her not being a bitch on the promotional tour of the Hunger Games, meaning that it's not having a detrimental effect on the box office and is even maybe potentially helping it out, and that we gotta look forward, or rather, look out for what Gal Gadot could be doing, depending on what transpires with the current conflict in the Middle East and the run-up of the Snow White live-action film. So, good on Rachel. I just also anticipate something by the end of the year of her just saying something absolutely stupid. But at least for the time being, at time of recording, December 4th, she hasn't said anything dumb so far. So, good for her. God bless, and, well, if she stays this vanilla, maybe her casting as Snow White wasn't that insufferable or terrible after all. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.